Welcome to Finance with Avery. Let's get into this quick update from Voyager that's going to tell us what's going to happen to our USD and what's going to happen to our crypto. Pretty much, this is more detailed information from Voyager. Let's get into it. So how does this Chapter 11 bankruptcy affect the cash in our account? So the USD, not the USDC, the stablecoin, just the USD, just dollars in our Voyager account. Voyager says they are working to restore access to USD deposits, and customer USD belongs to customers and will return to those same customers, subject to a reconciliation and fraud prevention process. That's the process they're going through and everything. And so that should be reconciled earlier than the finishing of the Chapter 11 bankruptcy, hopefully. So they said, is the USD in my account FDIC insured? Which is a question many people have because they recently came out with the FDIC insured, statement for the USD. So they say, yes, the USD in your Voyager cash account is held at the Metropolitan Commercial Bank of New York and is FDIC insured. So this means we are covered up to a maximum of $250,000 per Voyager customer right here is FDIC insured. But the FDIC insurance does not protect against the failure of Voyager. And so this Chapter 11 bankruptcy should hopefully prevent the complete flat out failure of Voyager. And so what they want to reiterate right here, they're saying that Voyager does not hold the cash, but the cash is held at the MCB, the Metropolitan Commercial Bank of New York right there. So they're just reiterating, we're not holding your cash. We didn't loan it out. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. It's held at the actual bank. However, the FDIC insurance does not protect if just Voyager just flat out fails right there. So even though the cash is held at the bank and Voyager doesn't hold it, still if Voyager fails completely, that cash is pretty much no longer held at the bank. It's not FDIC insured. I'm sure there would be lawsuits and everything upon that, but they're saying, that's part of the reason why they're doing this Chapter 11 bankruptcy, this restructuring, and so to prevent Voyager from just flat out falling. Now, let's get to the crypto that's in our account, because I know many of us have way more crypto in our accounts than USD. I didn't hold much USD in the account. I definitely had way more crypto. So let's get into this right here. Will happen to the crypto in my account. It says Voyager currently has approximately 1.3 billion of crypto assets on its platform, plus claims against Three Arrows Capital of more than 650 million, which fluctuates due to the exchange rate between Bitcoin and USD. So, and then also it says here, under Voyager's proposed reorganization plans or Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which is subject to change and requires court approval, customers will receive a combination of the following, with the ability to select the proportion of crypto and common equity they received, subject to certain maximum thresholds. So you'll be able to hopefully select what proportion of your crypto you want back and common equity in their new restructured company. And I know most of us just want all of our crypto back exactly. But what they're saying right here, there's 4 options right here you're going to be able to do a combination of and hopefully, select the amounts of here. It says, number 1, pro rata share of crypto, and pro rata means proportion of, or in proportion of, or proportion to. And so number 2, pro rata share of proceeds from the Three Arrows Capital recovery. 3, pro rata share of common shares in the newly reorganized company. And 4, pro rata share of existing Voyager tokens. So right there, you've got a proportion of your crypto, a proportion of what they receive from Three Arrows Capital, which of that over 650 million, we're pretty much, I think many of us think like, you're probably not going to get much of that back, if anything. So we can pretty much nix that number 2 right there. And so number 3, a proportion of common equity in the new reorganized company of Voyager, and 4, a prorated share of existing Voyager tokens. So that VGX token, you may have had some before, so a share of those. So I guess that's going to maybe, if you had some of those before, maybe that will be part of that share of crypto, or they're going to make that like part of the prorated share of Voyager tokens. I don't know how they're going to split that up, but he says you're going to be able to choose. So it's going to be hopefully more in our hands of how much we receive of these 4 options right here. And as they stated, the customers will be able to select the proportion of crypto that they've received back and the proportion of common equity, so shares in the newly organized company. So I'm guessing we're not going to be able to pick and choose like how much share we'll get from the proceeds of Three Arrows Capital or the Voyager tokens, but we'll be able to pick the proportion of crypto we receive back and proportion of shares in the new reorganized company. And I'm pretty sure most of us want just all of our crypto back in whole, just give us back exactly what we had on the platform before. But that's looking very unlikely that we will receive our full amount of crypto. It's going to be an amount, from this restructuring plan and not the full amount. And hopefully it'll be close to the full amount, but I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. I'm not going to just think my money is lost that's on the platform, or my crypto is lost on the platform. The money USD should still be there. But like I said, I didn't have much of that. I mostly held crypto on that platform. And the next frequently asked question is, can you tell me how much of my crypto I'll get back? So Voyager says that at this stage, we are proposing that customers will receive their crypto as described above with those 4 different scenarios right there I just read. And they say, however, the exact numbers will depend on what happens in the restructuring process and the recovery of Three Arrows Capital assets. We understand how important this issue is and will provide updates as soon as possible. So I definitely do appreciate these updates they've been having going on right here. And I've been trying to provide them to you here on the channel because I am a Voyager customer with a good proportion of crypto on there. And I know many of you do as well, have a nice amount of crypto on there. And so you're definitely interested in see what's going on with this process. So they're saying that they can't tell us the exact amounts because of that recovery process with Three Arrows Capital, which I'm thinking they're not going to get much, if any, of that 650 million. So hopefully next they'll come out with something saying, okay, this is the scenario if we don't get any of that back, because it's going to be a proportion of the crypto you have, a proportion of shares in this new company. And I'm not sure how much those shares are going to be worth. There's going to be a lot of selling pressure on those shares. Like, just imagine people getting a bunch of shares of a company they don't have faith in or trust in or dislike, like they're just not too sure of. You're going to sell those shares as soon as possible. Like, you give me shares of a company I don't like and I don't like their financials and everything, I'm going to get rid of those shares and buy something else I like more, and a company that has better financials, a company with better growth prospects, a company I can put a little bit more trust into. So there's going to be a lot of selling pressure in those new shares. So I'm thinking, they're not going to be worth much eventually. Maybe it'll be a surprise. Maybe, who knows? But, and then also the Voyager tokens, which may incur the same kind of selling pressure as the Voyager shares. You get a bunch of tokens in a company you don't like and not sure of. You're gonna sell those tokens, right? So yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting scenario, and definitely I'll keep you updated on the channel here with the situation, because I'm a Voyager customer. I know many of you all are and hold a lot of money on the platform, whether it be thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars, millions of dollars, so we're going to keep updated here. I'm going to keep you updated here on the channel. Let's get into this last question here of the frequently asked questions. And so now, what's next? Voyager states that our next court hearing is on August 4th, 2022, where we will seek further relief to stabilize operations and further advance the restructuring. As the restructuring continues, you may receive notices with updates on additional legal and procedural milestones. So we will receive some updates about, what's going on with this process and everything, but they stated that no action is required on our part. So as of now, us Voyager customers, the only thing we can really do is just be patient and stay updated on the news. That way we're not in as much of a shock as this shock is of, what's going on right now. So I'll keep you updated here on the channel with this, and also other information coming out with other financial videos and personal finance and investing that doesn't have to do with Voyager. But right now, I'm just getting these Voyager updates out because it is definitely important to me, and I know it's important to many of you all who had assets and money on the platform. And so that is it with the video, you all. Hope you all have a great day. Enjoy. Take care.